You are always accountable for your actions, especially when you're the one who is making the decisions. I was held accountable during this session. I had to focus on just getting through as a result of kind of the decisions I made going in. This was a pretty big volume squat. I had pulled a lot of volume out of my first session of the week to give myself room on my deadlifts so that I could complete them, and it put a little bit of extra tonnage on this session as far as work that needed to be done. And because I had gone a little bit heavier on the dead, not heavier on the deads, because I had done some extra volume on the deads, as I was expecting and as could be expected, there was still some recovery that was left undone going into this session, and it ended up being tough. But those are the kinds of sessions that really make the most difference. These are the ones that you remember. It's really easy to go in and stick to your plan and do the work that you need to do when you're feeling great and everything is just going your way, but there are other times when you kind of just have to say, well, this is not exactly as I would hope that it would be. It would be nice to have everything just feel easy the first time and have no issues whatsoever. But yeah, middle gut check time. And as we get closer to the meet, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get there's not a lowering of the expectation for myself. You know, if anything, the expectations are raising. I have to continue to get more and do better. I have a lower volume week next week because it's doubles, and you know, kind of leads into a mini fatigue drop leading into my final microcycle of 5s, 3s, and 2s. But the 3s here are kind of an example of what the final couple weeks are going to start to look like. I'm getting to the point where I'm overreaching. I'm getting to the point where weights are going to start feeling tough no matter what, just because of the state that you bring yourself to. And actually watching these, they look a lot easier than they felt. Everything felt pretty grindy. I was a little concerned about my depth on some of them because I didn't feel as mobile as I was. I felt tighter than it looks. So that was, you know, it's encouraging to watch after the fact and see that. But at the time, it was pretty disheartening. And I left all 8 sets of these triples in there just to show kind of the progression that happened and how the weights continued to move. And I had to find myself the mentality that I used to do when I ran the Smolov squat training cycles. Those were pretty soul-sucking. And I've run it 3 times now, so I still have the nightmares, as it were, but I look at some of those sessions, and the mentality I had to adopt for that was, you can quit if you miss. If you have something that's in the plan and it's reasonable that you can do it, then it's expected that you do it. You don't start just skipping stuff that you're capable of. And you know, there is something to be said for looking forward to other sessions and thinking about the grand scheme, and I'm very much aware of that. I'm very much a proponent of that. But the reason that these were tough was because I had pushed forward a little bit more in my deadlifts, and that's the price you pay. If you want to try and push the progress faster than you'd originally planned, then sometimes you have to do some extra work after the fact. So that was kind of a mental wake up for me. Definitely a test of the fortitude and just trying to stay disciplined. Like I said, throughout the entire session was very difficult. It was rough to get back under the bar over and over again. But every single time I was focusing on trying not to waste any reps. I didn't want to waste a cue. I didn't want to start cutting depth. I didn't want to start having reps that I couldn't count towards the training, because you only get so many opportunities. You only get a finite amount of chances to prepare for what you're aiming towards. And I'm aiming for this meet in February, which means that every rep I have until then is a chance to either ingrain good motor patterns and good habits and work towards solid, legitimate, legal reps, or it's an opportunity to teach myself bad habits or not practice it the right way. And so it's important that you take the opportunities you have, no matter what it is, whether it's powerlifting or something else. If you're going to work towards something, you have to stay disciplined enough, even when you're tired, even when you're not particularly excited about it, even when it's not a fun place to be, you still have to keep your mentality towards using it as an opportunity to grow, using it as a chance, a gift, an opportunity, where you are accepting that and saying, okay, I am going to improve as a result of this, I'm going to utilize it, I could skip it, but I'm not going to, I'm going to take this chance. And because of that, I kind of told myself after the 8th set, I decided I would just do, okay, one more set, and this time I'm going to hit the rest of my volume by adding an extra rep. I'm going to do 505 for a set of 4 after 8 sets of 3, where I was not feeling particularly great, and I survived it. It means that deadlifts the next day are going to feel probably pretty crummy, so my recovery work has to be pretty solid. I have to make sure that I'm taking the appropriate steps to focus on making sure that I'm ready for the next session, the same thing that I had to do to make sure I could get through this one. Doesn't mean it's going to feel great, doesn't mean that even if I do everything right, that my body can recover enough to feel 100%. It just won't, and that's the expectation, that's the acceptance of your circumstance, where you say, okay, sometimes it's just gonna be tough. There isn't a way, even if you do everything right, even if you never push yourself to your absolute limits in any one session or opportunity, you're going to have times where a great plan is still going to be tough, and it's still going to be hard to execute it. If it's easy, you're not really trying. If every single time you go into one of these chances, these opportunities, if everything just went flying and your progress was ridiculous and everything was smooth and fast and easy, and there was never the need to stay disciplined and be focused, then your goals are probably not high enough to warrant any effort from you. You know, what we achieve too easily, we esteem too lightly. You have to put in the work for the things that you can be proud of later. And no matter what happens at this session, I'll look back at no matter what happens at this meet, moreover, I will look back at all these sessions and remember how hard I worked, and it's going to feel so much better having that. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, rating, share it with your friends. If you didn't enjoy the video, go ahead and watch it again, give it another chance. But other than that, I'll talk to you soon with the deadlifts from the next day. Have a great day. Bye.